Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Spotlight session. Thank you for joining us today. And for today's session, we have Jill Hendry from Electricity Northwest leading on a presentation showcasing utilities together. We also have Jill Walker from NGN and Ed Allard from Cadent Gas, and they'll be answering any of your questions using the Q&A function, which you'll find at the bottom of your screens. If you do wish to speak to anyone directly, please use the chat function. So Jill, I'll hand straight over to you.
Thank you, Alice. Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to share some slides. So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk to you about a collaborative project that we've called Utilities Together, which is Electricity Northwest, United Utilities Water, Northern Gas Networks and Cadent Gas Network. And together we've combined to support customers in vulnerable circumstances. We all four of us, myself, Jill Walker from Northern Gas Network, Ed Allard from Cadent Gas and Amanda Phillips, who unfortunately can't be with us today, from United Utilities, have joined together. We all do very, very similar roles, working with partners to deliver the best services that we can for customers in vulnerable circumstances. And that's especially in the times of a power cut or an issue with water, or if, for instance, the gas services aren't available. So today I want to tell you a little bit about why we've collaborated and why we're working together for the benefit of others. So I've told you about the four utilities, and the four of us, we collectively share ambitions to support customers and communities who are often in vulnerable situations. And by coming together, we can hopefully achieve the maximum benefit. Working together, we bring collective impact to meet and hopefully exceed our regulators, stakeholders, and community expectations. And although a lot of the work that we do because the regulator imposes it on us, as four independent organisations, we're all very, very passionate about supporting customers that need additional help. And I hope that that comes through from these slides in this presentation. So what are our aims as a group? Well, without a doubt, two heads or more are definitely better than one. And in our case, we've got at least four, and sometimes we have more people from our independent organisations. So hopefully we want to raise awareness of our organisation's impact and collective abilities. So for example, we all promote the Priority Service Register. We all promote energy savings advice. So we want to be aware of how collectively we could do that better. So we want to benefit our shared customer base. So Electricity Northwest is a Northwest organisation, and we operate from the borders of Scotland through to the borders of Cheshire. So our customer base is very, very similar to that of United Utilities and of Cadent. And Northern Gas Networks cover North Cumbria, which is part of our area as well, hence why we have two gas utilities in with our collaboration. So we share the same customers, we share the same areas, and the services that we provide, although different utilities, we should be able to share a common approach. And collectively, we want to deliver innovative approaches to common issues. So we're seeing the same issues right across our region. And collectively, we know that we can come up with better ideas together. We want to support the most vulnerable in society and minimise the social impact of our essential works. So all three utilities are constantly working in the highways. Customers will often be notified that they'll be going off supply. We want to work together to minimise the impact that that has on the vulnerable in our society. And hopefully together we can share experiences and good practice. We want to encourage stakeholders to engage with us as a collective. So that what we want to work towards our stakeholders looking at us as one. So as a group of utilities, rather than thinking of engaging with gas or I've got to engage with water, we want them to think of us as engaging with the utilities. And we want to present a shared front. And this way, we believe that it will promote the value that we add across our region. We want to establish and engage with others, with other utilities across the country. They don't need to work in our area, but anything that we're doing is hopefully something that you're doing or that you would want to do. And we'd like to engage and share best practice or learn from you, from your best practice. We want to engage with housing associations. We do already in our area, but do we do it enough? We can learn a lot from housing associations who offer a lot of support to their customers, but we want to be part of that as well. We want to show that we support and care and that we can work collaboratively together. We all work very, very closely with our local authorities, and we've learned and we gain a lot from that partnership. But again, can we do more? Can we work together collectively as a utility group? And our charities we learn such a lot from. We learn a lot about vulnerable customers and how we should best support them. So really, that for us is our aims and goals for our collaborative working group. Now, although we've only been up and running for really 12, 18 months now, we've got some quite good projects on the go, and we're really proud to share them with you today. The picture on this screen on some of our projects, you'll see it says Preston City Council. This is a mobile advice centre that Preston City Council very, very kindly gifted to one of our existing partners. And the partner it was gifted to is Age Concern. And Age Concern spoke to us about supporting them in turning this mobile advice centre into really not so much a state of the art, but a very modern mobile advice centre, and one that we could, that they could use and we could support to help people in communities where they maybe can't get into town centres, that they don't always know what's going on. And they came to us to say that there's lots of people out there that need help and support, and they can't necessarily go out and find it. So we need to go out and find them. And they put forward this proposal of what they wanted to do with this mobile advice centre, and we were absolutely sold. And immediately it was one of those light bulb moments where you sort of think to yourself, this isn't really just for us to support, this really needs all the utilities behind it. And I was so pleased when having the discussion with water and gas that they completely supported the funding for this MAC. And tomorrow we're really, really proud to actually be launching it. The whole vehicle has been completely refurbished. As you can see from this image, it has a sort of theatre style setup and little pods. And we've provided between us £50,000, and that's refurbished the interior and completely renovated the exterior to show that this is a mobile advice centre for customers who are elderly or living with dementia, and the Age Concern can provide that support. And with this collaboration, we also have the benefit of Preston North End's Community and Education Trust, who are also supporting this, and they'll be coming out with us to events and hopefully bring in a few more people the awareness of what it is that we're trying to deliver, and hopefully encouraging people to come and find out what it is that the Mobile Advice Centre can offer to them. And we think that the £50,000 that we've invested in this is a fabulous investment. So again, some more images on the right of what the interior looks like. I know it looks really big, but it opens out on both sides, and there's a lot of internal space. So you've got the areas where we can actually present and deliver maybe energy advice workshops, safety workshops, and Age Concern are obviously very much focusing on support that they can give to facilitate dementia awareness. And they're also very, very focused on supporting carers of families that are living with dementia. And some of the projects that we'll deliver through the Mobile Advice Centre will be focused on carers and giving them additional support. Safety, as I say, is very much at the heart as well. And I know that Northern Gas Networks and Cadent are especially focused on the safety element for customers, and especially customers when they're living in vulnerable circumstances, maybe with dementia or other conditions that might impact them and therefore having the mobile advice centre to provide this information, taking it out to rural areas is really, really important for us. And another great opportunity from the mobile advice centre is the fact that all 3 utilities can also use this in the event of an emergency, in a sense of a welfare unit, that we can maybe go out to rural areas. In the Northwest, we do have a lot of rural areas, and we in particular have quite a large overhead network. So in our Cumbria area, we do quite often, in bad weather conditions, people can lose supply, and it can be very difficult to get support facilities in rural areas. But having access to the mobile advice centre, we hope, will help us to be able to support customers better in the event of a power cut. Another project that we've just, we're literally in the middle of at the moment, is an 8-week campaign. It's what we call our pharmacy campaign. And as you can see to the right on the screens, there are pharmacy bags. The pharmacy bags have been used over the last few years to promote the services that we provide. So with 200 pharmacies that are actually on the project, and we'll be delivering 400,000 bags and 60,000 leaflets. So we work with an independent pharmacy, and as I said earlier, the pharmacy campaign was started several years ago. We initially started as a single utility, Electricity Northwest, just promoting our priority service register and energy efficiency. And then we joined forces with United Utilities and promoted their services as well as our own. And this year we're really glad to include Cadence as well. And Cadence inclusion has meant that we've been able to focus not just on our priority services and our energy savings, but also on safety in the home. So as I said earlier, with 400,000 pharmacy bags gone out, 60,000 PSR leaflets across 200 pharmacies right throughout the Northwest. And the locations where these have gone have been selected from our social data mapping. So we've actually targeted specific areas where we've got gaps within our PSR, and on the energy efficiency side, in areas where we know that they will benefit from energy savings. So when we've got areas where we're targeting any of our campaigns, we do like them to be data driven so that we can target those areas that need help the most. And it's a really, really effective campaign, and one that we're sharing with you today, because if other organisations across the country don't use the pharmacy bags in this way, you know, we'd love to share with you how we've done it, what we've done, and our contacts, so that you can share best practice, because it's a great project with really quite a small cost investment, but gets that message out there that we really need to get people on our priority service register. Another project that we're currently working on is actually we're supporting our water, but we're supporting it with water and energy in the home. And this is a secondary project that sits under the Utilities Together project. So water, at one of our meetings, we have regular meetings where we talk about things that matter and you know, what we should be focusing our efforts on. And United Utilities shared with us that since 2014, there's been an upward trend in water consumption. And the regulator is now under AMP7, their regulatory period. United Utilities have been targeted with achieving a reduction in water use by 6.3%. So a really significant reduction. And I think we all know that saving water saves energy and hopefully then saves money. So what we're doing as a collaborative project is we're looking at the energy costs associated to water, and we're focusing our efforts in supporting United Utilities in the target area that if people save water, they'll save energy and therefore save money. We're trying to put figures on this so that we can take this message out there with our mobile advice centre and in other events that we do. So it's a newish project, and but one that we're hoping to get up and off the ground very, very quickly. When we do energy saving advice at the moment, we do very much focus on other utilities. But like all things, we can sort of work in silos and focus very much in our own area. But as far as we're concerned with this project, and as far as we know from what our customers tell us, they don't want to just be given water energy guidance from a water organisation and energy from the electricity industry. They want the holistic view. If we're going to help people be more energy efficient, we need to talk about the whole spectrum. And then if on top of this, we can also focus on the environment as well, then it's a great project. And the outcome of this as well as us doing the events and the work that we're doing is that we're creating a joint energy saving booklet that we'll be able to distribute at events. And again, we can share best practice with any other organisations. So it's a really exciting project and one that we've had several meetings now. I'm really getting going with it. Another project on the horizon that's really exciting for us is that we're currently working very closely with the Riga services to trial a multi-utility PSR portal. Many of us talked, and we always do whenever we get together as utilities, that that it's why should somebody have to register with a supplier, with the water, with the gas? All everybody wants is one registration to notify all utilities and suppliers that you need the additional support. So we're very focused as an organisation on having a single PSR portal, as are our collaborative partners, and also Citizens Advice. And we work very, very closely with Citizens Advice, and we're going to be trialling this pilot with Citizens Advice Manchester with a Riga's portal to hopefully establish the validity of that portal and move it forward. And we're really, really delighted to be part of it. And as soon as we've got the results from that pilot, we'd love to share them with you. So what have been the benefits of collaborating? Well, without a doubt, it's brought utilities in the Northwest closer together. When I've got any sort of question that comes to mind, I will often refer immediately to one of my utility partners. I do feel that from working together, although we're not in each other's pockets, we've become as close as colleagues, and that's been really, really good. So that relationship has really, really improved. We've learned so much from each other. For me personally, I remember the first meeting that I had with Northern Gas Networks, and Jill Walker telling me about their locking cooker valve that they provided to vulnerable customers. And I was so impressed. I was impressed with what they were doing. I shared that back with our contact centre so that if we have frontline staff that were talking to customers that would benefit from the locking cooker valve, that they knew how to signpost to the relevant gas organisation. Things like metering, the issues that water organisations have with customers that aren't on a meter, sharing and understanding that helps us, and we can often share good guidance and support as well. And sharing knowledge about communities, understanding where communities need support and how communities work together, what we can learn from them, that's been a real benefit to us. It's definitely improved creativity and helps us to think outside the box. So it isn't just one idea. We've lots of ideas, and we sit down together and we truly do brainstorm and think through many different ideas and suggestions. And from that, I'm certain that we move forward with better ideas. We've been introduced to some really, really good partners, really appropriate partners, and sometimes partners that you wouldn't imagine could bring something into your organisation. But we haven't got a partnership that hasn't brought something different, and we can learn something from so many different people, and it's been really, really good practice. And sharing project costs, that's a brilliant benefit, because the less we spend on one thing, the more we can spend on other things. So there must be so many times where we're duplicating costs, and losing that duplication of cost means that we can be really focused where we put our money. Sharing best practice has been great. For example, we've recently all got engaged with the NSPCC. The NSPCC contacted us as a frontline organisation at the beginning of the COVID lockdown to ask us to as frontline workers to support and help them spotting any signs of abuse in a home. And this was something, again, that we hadn't really thought about the part and the role that we could play. So understanding that and then sharing that across the utilities about what we've done and how it's helped is really, really great. And supporting each other with our respective organisational projects. So again, recently we were talking as a group about the work that we're doing on physical and emotional health. And we were very happy to share lots of things that we've done, to share documents, to share ideas. And that's been great for all of us. So what's next for us? We all, as a group, want to focus on supporting areas of high deprivation. We want to understand the effect of COVID in our area and how we can work together to support those that are most impacted. In the Northwest, we've got real pockets of areas that are really, really impacted by COVID. Blackpool's a standout area for us because of the impact on employment there, but there's lots more. Sharing and knowing that, but then being able to focus efforts in those areas is really rewarding for us. We're always looking for new partner opportunities, innovative ideas so that we can work together. And they don't need to be innovative, they, just great ideas that work well for you guys. We'd love to hear. Sharing best practice with other utilities, we'd love to share with you, and we'd love you to share back with us to help us to support customers better in vulnerable circumstances. So I hope you found that interesting. They were just a few of our projects. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jill. That was really good and in-depth information given there as well. Just want to ask Jill and Ed, were there any questions that you want to ask for Jill?
Hi, Alice.
Hi.
One question was obviously, can the slides be shared after the meeting, which I understand they'll be distributed, so that's all good. The other two were on comments around the pharmacy campaign about how it's a great way to engage with health services, and just an attendee sort of recognise it as a great project. And the final comment was from Jen from NEA, just sort of praising the collaborative working and the culture and the mindset of the organisations involved to work collaboratively. So no other questions as such, just a couple of comments and a question about the slides being shared.
Great, thank you. Yes, this recording of the webinar will be sent around to everyone, and I will also put Jill's contact details at the bottom. So if you do have any further questions, then please do drop Jill an email. So thank you again for joining us today. Thanks again, Jill, Ed and Jill, for coming along and for presenting to us today. Like I said, any questions, please do let us know. Thank you, everyone.